First off, let me say this. Class act by App State. I don't know if you guys saw, but App State had a decal on the back of their helmet for the 75. Coach Clark let me know about that in pregame. Class act. And I think, obviously, Coach Clark being from this area, he truly understands what this weekend means to this region, what this weekend means to this program. But hats off, because he didn't have to do that. And the players, even after the game, they had the right mentality. They understood, and that's what college football is about. And we'll get to the game, but that's what college football is about. That's the essence of college football. It's regional rivalries that are bitter to the core, but at the end we shake hands and understand it's just about respect. And hats off to Coach Clark for doing that, because he did not have to do that. I want to make sure that the country knows that that's a class act. Secondly, hats off to the App State fans that traveled. That was Sun Belt regional rivalry to the T. They could have made 1,000 excuses about the rain and the weather, or a 5-4 team that wasn't playing up to the standards of App State standards, whatever that may be. But they showed up in droves. So that hats off to them. Now, to the most important. I hope this weekend brings a lot of raw emotion to a lot of people here. This weekend brings a lot of anxiety, and I hope, and Keith, I hope the 75 in heaven can smile a little brighter today. Your dad, I hope he can. And we'll get to the stats, right? We got a lot to clean up, and we got a lot. We did some good things, but what this weekend means to so many people. There's a lot of pressure on the guys. Someone told me, a coach that was here before me said, "How does it feel to be the coach of a game you can't lose?" And I didn't look at it that way. I took the pressure off the guys. I said, whatever we do, just make sure when we walk off that field that the 75 are proud of how we played. And I think tonight, yes, the goal is to win, but the mission is ultimate brotherhood. And I think our brothers, our herd brothers and sisters in heaven, are proud of what we did tonight. And when I say we, the entire community, not just the football team, not the coaches, not the player trainer, everybody in the region. I hope they smile a little brighter tonight at the heavenly fat patties. I really do. I really do. So really good effort. Obviously a lot of things to clean up. Really good effort. I thought earlier in the game we kind of stumped our toe. I bet you the Marshall beaters are going to be through the roof, because we really made it hard. I told them at halftime, if Marshall stops playing Marshall, we got a chance to win this game. And I thought the second half we were a little bit better. Special teams showed up today. You guys probably saw me go ballistic on the punt block. We've been working on that block or blocking punt since the flood. And we run by them in practice, and we block them in practice, and we feel good, and we get in the game, and technique goes out the window, hands go up. But it was good today to get one, and I was excited, because when you work at something really, really hard, really, really long, it's good for the players to have some success. Obviously, there's a lot we got to get cleaned up on special teams. We're at that point in the season now where we're playing a lot of young guys. So some guys running down on that kickoff team that were in high school last year or didn't play a lot this year. So we got to get some fits better. Again, I think that's one of the leading returners in this conference, and they responded, and I thought our guys responded. Defensively, we came up with the plays when we needed them to. That's a championship football program over there. You look at not only what they've done in this rivalry back and forth, but you look at what they've done in this conference for a real long time. That's a real football team over there, and they know how to win. They've won a lot of games. Winning is contagious. Winning breeds belief. So for our guys to be resilient enough to kind of see it through, I thought that was really good. Offensively, I know you guys were waiting. I know. I held the touchdowns for today. I held the pass plays for today. I know. That's why they pay me to coach and you guys to report. I'm going to get you guys today. Now, you may get me next week, so it's fair game. No, but I thought, again, we talk about each week just doing what we need to do to win. and doing it as a team. We knew as a team we were going to have at least one big play on special teams. Obviously, the block punt for a touchdown is a phenomenal play, but we knew flipping the field and punt or doing a really good job in kickoff coverage or return, whatever it may be, we knew we needed one big play. We knew the defense needed to be able to get off the field on third down. And I thought they did a really good job of that. They were 5 or 17. We knew from an offensive standpoint we were going to have to stay on the field on third down. We did a little bit better. Obviously, we continue to get better. And couple there at the end. We got to get it cleaned up. Fourth down, third and shorts. We're going to look at it. It's just a guy getting beat, probably bad footwork, laid off the ball. But those are the things that we got to continue to get better at. Penalties back and forth at the end of the game. We got to get the right personnel in. We can't sub if they don't sub. Just things that happen as the game starts to get big that we've got to be able to manage. And I think as we're building towards becoming that program or that standard or that organization that we want to be, these are the learning lessons. It's always good when you can learn from a win. But I thought overall, phenomenal effort by every single person that wore green tonight. The fans that were there, the reporters, all of you guys, phenomenal effort tonight. We got a lot to clean up, so you guys need to show up tomorrow for the staff meeting so we can get you guys cleaned up as well. But really good weekend. And all aside, I hope from the administration down, I hope all the things that we've invested into this weekend is really making the people proud of what we did, what we were able to do tonight. So that opened up questions.
That opening drive, 80 yards, 15 plays, do you think that kind of set the tone for the rest of the game?
Yeah, we talked about, starting fast. And we talked about, if we could stay on the field on third down, we'd be able to move it. And that's been our issue. And third down has been tripping us up. But we talked about starting fast, and we talked about playing one play at a time. Don't get into, a drive or, this series. Just play one play at a time. And I thought, for the first time, we came out, started fast, created a lot of momentum early. I think that was something that was a positive, the momentum that we created on that drive. It's hard to go 15 plays in a row and not somebody screw up. It really is. It's sad to say, but even the pros, it's hard to do. But our guys were resilient enough to take one play at a time mentality. We talked about it all week, just one play at a time. Just keep grinding, one play at a time. That was a great start for us today.
Coach, you mentioned the Marshall beaters and also the fact that your guys are having to play younger guys. Do you think those kind of go hand in hand?
I think some of it is a little bit of attention to detail. The things that you do in practice that is just, it's practice, show up in the game. Again, I do think the opponent has a little bit to do with some of the penalties. You're probably not holding if you can block the guy, in front of you. And then again, I think a combination of the moment. We got to learn how to control the anxiety of the moment. No game is too big. No play is any bigger than itself. We got to focus on the task at hand. But I do think when we go back and look at them, a lot of them are going to be self-imposed. I think early in the game, our DBs panicked a little bit when the ball got in the air, and I think as the game went on, they kind of calmed down, played with a lot more confidence, and made some big plays.
Coach, with the way you had to win it, give a punch, take a punch, and for you guys to get 2 fourth down stops, that builds up that championship mentality you're talking about. Right?
Yeah, again, I think whenever you're truly battle tested and you got to go win games in tough battles. The JMU game was a tough battle. We got behind 12 points. We had to battle our way back. Tonight we got behind. We started out where we had to make some plays. We had to battle our way back. We made a play. They made a play. Anytime you can do that, I think it builds the toughness that you need to be able to sustain. There's a couple games this year we can point at where we just couldn't, battle our way back. And I think anytime that you have these moments that you can just find a way to battle your way back, it's a great learning lesson for the young guys, a great learning lesson for both sides of the ball. It's a great learning lesson for, the guys that are playing a bunch that, hey, we've done this before, we can do it again, builds confidence. And then you can teach from it, because probably when we watch the film, there's going to be more plays that everybody's going to say, man, I can't believe we didn't take advantage of that. Or if we'd have done this, we would have had, a better opportunity, or it wouldn't have been as close, down to the wire if we would have been able to do some things. I would bet on that kickoff return, if we spill the ball, the guy doesn't roll down the sideline. Early in the first half, if we don't muff the punt, maybe we did. So there's some things that we did not do that we can learn from. And if we can do those things a little more consistently, we got a chance. We got a chance to continue to get better.
Last year, they rallied. This time around, you had a response for every time they scored. You talked about it, being able to hang on to it even though they were fighting and battling back, the difference between last year and this year. Can you talk about how you guys have continued to respond? You talked about it.
Yeah, I think, it takes a while to get your culture in place. It takes a while to get guys to believe and understand there's a reason that things go back and forth, and if you can identify the reason, you can continue to move forward. I think when we came into halftime, we knew we were kind of beating ourselves. It wasn't that they were doing anything special, and no disrespect to them, but we muffed punts, we had penalties, we didn't do some things that we can control. And I think when you can identify the reason that you're having issues, the quicker you can identify that, the quicker you can bounce back. And I think that's what showed up tonight. Went down there and battled back and forth. And when they responded, we didn't necessarily respond last year. This year we responded and came out on top.
The second quarter, obviously you all got the opening drive went up, but it seemed like there were, I think, 3 or 4 drives in a row in which App State's starting plus. And for the defense to bow its back and not allow any points, I think Micah's interception came at the 11-14 mark with you all up 7-0. Is that kind of indicative of the grit and determination of this defense just this year?
Yeah, I think so, and I think it's they're battle tested. They've been in those situations before. Where it was, half field or short field, and we got to find a way to get a 3rd down stop or a 4th down stop. I think again the confidence level that they're playing with on that side of the ball is big. The other thing is we got a lot of older players on defense. We got some younger players on offense. So that, again, battle tested, been in game, been in those situation moments, not too big. But again, I think over time, once you have success in one situation, it gives you confidence for the next. It allows you to alleviate the anxiety, focus on the task at hand. This play has a life and dependency of its own. It has nothing to do with the other 82 plays that we ran. This play, what's my job? What's my alignment? What's my responsibility? Now go execute. That's starting to happen on offense now. And I think, again, it's contagious, starting to happen on special teams. Contagious. Now, the next thing is how do we eliminate the major blunders, where guys are in the wrong gap or guys are, not spilling the ball in certain situations. So if we can do that, I think we got a chance.
Last week against ODU, you said you knew your defense would be able to shut them out. You were okay with the field goals down the stretch. What was the feeling on your philosophy on coaching? What was the feeling this week you got?
Yeah, I felt like we would be able to at least, battle with them. I did not know, because of the magnitude of the game and the weekend and, where we were in the back in the 4th, I did not feel like, hey, we're good. But I felt like if we could get lined up, get the right call and execute, we were going to be in a good spot. As we continue to go down the road, what was the concerning part was we were having so many self-inflicted issues. Does that make sense? Of course, the second time in a row, you guys don't think about it. Second time in a row, we've got a guy running off the field and we get an interception. Happened to Notre Dame. Guys running off the field, we get an interception. Today, guys running off the field, we get an interception. So those type of things, to me, are the things that, one, coaches, we got to be better. We got to make sure that if we got to get a guy off, he's got to get off, or we got to leave him out there. And then 2, when the player's coming off, you got to get off. You can't jog like you're going down to Roosters. You got to get off. So those are areas where, as you're standing there saying, okay, the back and forth, are we going to put ourselves in a situation where we don't get the call and someone busts the coverage, or we have a self-inflicting issue? Base defense, I felt really good about us being able to at least force them into some long yardage situations, which I thought we did a good job of as the day went on.
How much did Cam Pancher go up today?
I think,
just
yeah.
Watching him with the rides and the raids and some things and the 200 passing and stuff, but as the guy said last week, you better account for number 14.
Yeah, I think what
he's going to get you.
Yeah, I think what he does, I think he continues to grow anytime we can get him out there in these situations. Again, it's rep, it's bank reps, it's confidence. It's him kind of getting a gauge of what he sees and feels. But again, I think he allows us to be a little bit more versatile on offense, because you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to block everybody perfect. You don't have to, every run doesn't have to have a hat accounted for. We got some stuff now. You're starting to see a little bit more flexibility in the RPO game and throwing the ball a little bit more, because kind of like last year when you got a threat in the backfield, they got to play a little different. Well, the threat's just different now. We got a kind of LeBourne and Cam are kind of a dual threat. So now guys got to play a little bit different. But I think, again, anytime you continue, the biggest moment for me is when Cam went down and, young quarterback, he could tap out, could say, you know what, I'm going to come back in, I'm just going to hand it off every time. But he came back, said, I'm good. And he went back out and made some good decisions, still made some good reads and pulled the ball in some tough run situations where he gets 2 or 3, which in that play design, that's what he had to do. Again, I think moving forward, how do we find a way to take the air out of the ball so we don't give the ball back to the offense? We could be a little bit more creative with what we do, as far as, formation and all of those things. But I thought Cam managed the game really well for the second time in a row. Just some things that you guys don't even see, just when he looks over to the sideline, hey, are we good running this play here? Hey, we're in this formation. A couple times a day the clock was getting low and he got guys lined up, got the ball snapped. Those are things that don't go on the stat sheet that you can tell the quarterback is getting comfortable, if that makes sense. And then I think, again, team sport, guys started rallying around him today. Guys made some plays for him. I still haven't seen that ball that Corey caught down in the corner. I'm still arguing with the ref because I thought the guy was offsides, and they say touchdown. But again, guys rallied around Cam today and made some plays for him. And that's what you got to be able to do. It's one-on-ones, 11 on 11. So somebody's going to have to make a play, meaning someone's going to have to run a really good route, someone's going to have to block, someone's going to have to either break a tackle or make a contested catch, and we were able to do that a little more consistently today.
So y'all have 2 games left in the regular
We got one game.
Oh, you got one game?
Yep, for 24 hours, we are going to celebrate the 75, and then they're going to tell us who we play next week, and we'll prepare. But go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, y'all have, 2 more big games against Georgia